Hey everybody, I want to go ahead and go over the Unit 4, One Solution, Infinite Solutions, No Solutions, Guided Notes. We did this in class together, but if for some reason you missed part of class, were absent, whatever reason, I want to make sure you have access to this information as well. So we've been solving equations, and all of the equations we've been solving in class have one thing in common. So far, they have all been able to be solved, or they've had what we would call one solution. Now, what one solution means is when we solve it, we get an answer. So let's take a look at this first example. To solve this equation, we first need to take care of these parentheses. And we know to take care of these parentheses, we need to take the three groups, or the 3, and multiply it by what's inside of each group. So 3 times 2x would give us 6x. 3 times 4 would give us a positive 12, so plus 12 equals 30x plus 12. Sorry. Now, my next step in solving this would be to remove x's from one side because I've got x's on both sides. Some teachers like to take the smaller number. I like to have all my x's on the left. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to take the 30 x's off of the right. And if I take 30 x's off the right, I've got to take 30 x's off the left. That eliminates those. That leaves me with just the 12 over here. 6 minus 30 is negative 24x plus 12, because I can bring that 12 down. The next step to solve this would be to take 12 off of both sides. I got negative 24x equals 12 minus 12 is 0. Don't panic. You can have 0 as an answer. When I solve that, last step would be to divide by the negative 24. When I divide by the negative 24, I get x equals 0. Now, what this means is the solution is 0. When you're doing problems like this and it's asking you to identify how many solutions, the nice thing is the only equations you actually have to solve all the way to the end are ones that have one solution. So if you can learn the ways to tell the difference between the types, you'll know how much more work you have to do. So here's something to remember. One solution equations, the key to what you can look for is there are a different amount of x's on each side of the equation. It can be solved. All right. Sorry, my stylus is being really finicky today. So if it can be solved, you just simply solve it and give the answer. Now, the other two types of equations, there are equations that have what we would call infinite solutions. What that means is every single number you could think of would be a possible solution for the equation. It doesn't just have one, so you can't just give one answer. You'd have to give all of them, and it's impossible to give all the answers. So if you can tell an equation that has infinite solutions, you don't have to solve it. All you have to do is write down infinite solutions, but you have to get the equation to a point where you can prove it. So this equation has some work I can do. If I look at the left side, I've got 3x plus 4 plus 2x. So I've got two terms that are like. I can put them together. 3x plus 2x would give me 5x. I can't do anything with that 4, so I'm going to bring the 4 down. Over here, I've got parentheses. So like I did up at the top, 2 times 2x would give me 2x. 2 times 2 would give me a plus 4. And then I still have this plus x. Now, what I know is I can take this 2x and this x and put them, I'm sorry, that should be a 4x. My bad. Let me make that a little more clear. I am so sorry. That should be 4x right there. All right. I can take this 4x and this x and put them together to give me 5x. So now, look at both sides of this equation. Right away, when you get to this point here, I have 5x plus 4 is equal to 5x plus 4. They are exactly the same on both sides. When they're exactly the same on both sides, there's any number you can put in. It doesn't matter what it is, but the answer will be correct. I could put 0 in it, it'll be right. I could put 10 in it, can be right. I can put negative 18.5 and that answer would be right. So if you get to the point where we would have what we called in class twins, we know it has infinite solutions because the equation has the, has the exact same amount of x's and numbers without an x. I'm not going to write all that because I'm running out of room. The exact same amount of x's and numbers on each side. All you have to do is get to this point and say infinite solutions. You don't have to solve it anymore. Lastly, we have equations that have what we would call no solution. A no solution equation has to be started, but what ends up happening is you get an answer that is impossible, meaning it can't work. So if I look at starting to solve this equation, I get 8x plus 3 minus 10x. So I need to put those x's together. That's going to give me negative 2x plus 3 equals, on this side, I've got negative 2x. And then I know I've got this 4 plus 3, so plus 7. If I keep working to solve this, I would take off 2x from the right to get rid of the x's over here. That means I have to add 2x to this side. Well, negative 2 plus 2 doesn't give me any x's. That means I'm only left with a 3 here and a 7 here. 3 will never equal 7. What I want you to notice, though, if you can get to a point where you look like this, look closely. This equation started off with having the same x's on each side, but when you get rid of them, the plain numbers right here are not the same. There's your hint. This can't be solved because 3 will never equal x. There's nothing I can do to this equation to make this problem work to where I get x equals x or 4 equals 4. So this equation would have no solution. The hint to what you can tell is the x's are the same on both sides. But the numbers, the plain numbers, are different, or square numbers as my kids have been calling them in class. So hopefully this will help you come up with some kind of hints and things to remember with how to find the number of solutions an equation has. We're going to do a lot more work on this with our practice problems in class, but hopefully this helps at least get you through the notes. Have a good day.